Dear nephews, I'm writing this with no pen or
Yo.
for your best friend and your dad.
What up? Apologize for the last minute switch. It's 7 p.m. instead of 8:15 on Tuesday evening. Why did I move up the time for this occasion? Well, just realized, because I don't be paying attention like that to other TV shows and schedules, but we got the State of the Union address today in like an hour. And not that I'm a supporter, but I do believe in staying informed. I believe in staying informed no matter what is going on. I'm an American. I live in America, so we need to know what's going on. That way we can organize and strategize effectively. So um, I'm going to do this a little early so then I can then see what dude talking about, because he did some scariness early in this week, and that didn't look good. That didn't look good for the state of this country. So I'm looking forward to exactly what he has to say about the State of the Union with all the moves and switches and changes that has been done. So hopefully we get some more clarity, or at least we're somewhat at ease with what's about to happen. Before we get started, you know the vibes. Made in the 1980s. Made in the 1980s. That is the podcast. You make sure you listen to it Friday mornings. It is what, 5:15 a.m. Friday mornings, the audio releases. Saturday morning, the video releases. Episodic, weekly podcasting by yours truly, sometimes co-starring and featuring my guy Wang Dang. Please say the damn doodle, okay? But we're not here for any of that. We're not here for Trump. We're not here for Made in the 1980s. We're not here for none of that. What we're here for today is Beanie Sigel. Not Benny Siegel, but Beanie Sigel. Beanie Sigel dropped his debut album 25 years ago. 25. 25 of them things. I know some people younger than 25, so they don't have no idea what I'm about to talk about here. I know some people that are maybe like 5 to 7 years old when this came out, so y'all don't know nothing about what's about to go on right here. But man, please, if you could, lend me your ear. Let me educate you on exactly one of the most impactful debut albums to release at the turn of the century. So yes, and yes, that's no cap, that's no gas. I'm not glazing. Beanie Sigel, The Truth, the album, is one of the most important and impactful albums to release at the turn of the century. And we're going to talk about why. I wouldn't be doing this live if I didn't believe that. So let's get to it, shall we? So for everybody, let's do this in order. You know what this is. This is Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life, Volume 2, right? I'm going to start trouble. But I believe this is the first classic that Jay-Z has, with respect to Reasonable Doubt, because it is a great album. But this changed life, this changed legacy, this changed trajectory. This album right here. And another reason why this album is classic is because it's 1998, and Beanie Sigel is on this album. Beanie Sigel is on this track called Reservoir Dogs, and that is him alongside the Lox, all three members. So Kiss, Styles, and Chic, Sauce Money, Jay-Z. And many people feel that Beans has a phenomenal verse, maybe the best verse on that song. I'm not here to argue and give you semantics. I won't lie though. Listen back. I mean, I think Jay got everybody at the end, but sauce money, man. Sauce money. And hey, I've heard, Sheik Luch maybe in that top 2 to 3. I've heard it. I've heard it. So I'll let you be the judge of that. But here, volume 2, Reservoir Dogs. Beanie Siegel's verse is the first strike of anticipation. I meant to grab it, but that's what she said. I'm sorry. Hard Knock Life Backstage DVD. That is the second installment, because here, when we get here, people are anticipating Beanie Sigel. They want to know who he is. They want to know where he's from. They want to know what he's doing, and is he next? Because if you're with some of the rap elite on this song for the very first time that we hear from you, and now we want to know what's going on. So again, and I feel foolish. I should have grabbed my DVD. I should get up and just grab it, but whatever. You know I got it. Hard Knock Life DVD. There is a whole segment on just Beans and how he's going out on these stages throughout the Hard Knock Life tour and just rapping, no beat. And he's going crazy. I don't believe there is I don't believe they perform Reservoir Dogs at all. I think he was just doing a different verse, or just a verse that was official to be part of the Hard Knock Life tour. Now, it does make sense because, there are no locks. I don't think Sauce Money made the tour. So with that being said, it might be perceived a little shady if the super new guy gets to a chance to do his verse versus this posse cut being done, which is regarded as one of the greatest posse cuts of the 90s. But we see Beans and the story, the legend, which we'll even talk about some more here in a second, is how Beans is just a guy out here rapping. And Jay gets word of him and his ability to rap. He kicks something for Jay. Instantly, he gets signed. He's offered a deal after the freestyle. That's an important piece to this puzzle. And that's one of the reasons why The Truth was such an anticipated album, because there's not a lot of, I guess, backstory as to how a lot of other people got signed, but we just know that it takes a long time. It takes a long time to get a deal. That was just the word of the 80s and 90s. Hey, yo, you want a deal? It's going to take some time, son. You gotta put in the work. You gotta get your demo. You gotta have something that they can sell. You gotta be marketable. You gotta do all these things. And basically, Beans just cut the line. That's the story. That's the legend as we know it. He cut the line because he was that nice. He cut the line, got a deal, gets on Reservoir Dogs, gets on the Hard Knock Life tour. Nothing was the same. That's what we know. Which brings us here. Volume 3, The Life and Times of S. Carter. And I know y'all know this joint. You know what I'm saying? Do It Again. Do It Again. The actual, I think this was the lead single. Yeah, Do It Again is the lead single on Volume 3. No Big Pimpin' being like the second or third, actually. Wow. You know how Matt come through on the club shit. You dig what I'm saying? That's what this is now. Now it's getting real. And now it becomes, okay, wait a minute. So when's he dropping? When's he dropping? Because I believe by the time we get here, Bean's album is slated to drop on October 19th of 1999. But we don't get the album. We get this. Now, Beans is now going from one song on the J album to two songs on the J album. And unfortunately, the other song is Pop for Rock, which was super skip on this album. Sorry. I didn't make the music. I just interpret it and let people tell me what they think. You know what I mean? But yes, by the time Matt comes through in the club, told y'all 4/5 in the club. If it want to draw in the blood, it can drip in the club. You know how it get in the clubs. You know how I be. All right, VIP rolling up the BIG. Now we're waiting. Now we're waiting. Now it gets very real because he's now shattered the glass ceiling for what Reservoir Dogs is and what the Backstage album is. Now the only thing that matters is that he is going absolutely crazy on the lead single to Jay-Z's new album, In My Lifetime. Volume 3, The Life and Times of S. Carter. So now, October comes and goes, no Beans out. Then I want to say, they say February, but it's like early, like maybe before like Valentine's Day, or like the week before. Still does not come. But we got a single. And the single is called The Truth. And when I seen the video for The Truth, I was like, okay. I'm absolutely going to buy this album. That was a given. I only needed to see it one time, and the way it was depicting really his transition from the streets to the fame, right? This is a Jay-Z bar too. It's a whole bar. Pay attention. I was like, okay, this is very real, and this is about to get real. I'm kind of excited. I'm not necessarily, a diehard Beans fan. I'm not a diehard Beanie Sigel fan because we don't have that much to go off of. We got just a handful of verses. Now, if you're one of the illustrious young people that's now a super you probably like a TT or an Unk in this era to some of the young kids. But if you're around for Napster, if you're around for LimeWire, then you were downloading Beans freestyle. So you got 1,000 bars. You were able to get that, even if you didn't live in New York. So we had 1,000 bars, him and Memphis Bleak on that on the Band from TV beat. And there was another freestyle that he put out, I believe. I can't remember what beat it was over, but I knew by the time we got to 1,000 bars, Beans and Bleak, I was like, okay, that. And then on top of the video, I'm like, yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it. Got to get dude music. And look, not for nothing, I'm really high on the Roc-A-Fella train right now, much like the rest of the world. Jay he survived. We got to think about it. It's 1999 going into 2000. Big is gone. Pac is gone. Nas is still here, but he's not really doing what Jay's doing, DMX is here. The world is dark right now as far as rap music. The Locks have now the Locks have left Bad Boy, and now they're going to be on Rough Riders now. So we're also anticipating We Are the Streets. This is the new album that's about to come out. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot looming in just New York City for this New York label. And here comes this guy from Philly, who I don't know if it was marketed to me at all like that, but I didn't know Beans was from Philly until the after effects of this. The after effects of this. This is the truth. This is the CD. This is the release, right? So 2000, it's a leap year. This actually drops, the actual date this drops is February 29th of 2000. That's when you could get it in the stores nationwide and actually purchase this album. This is the one. I see my guy Jones just checked in. I want to get to this question. I'm wondering, should I save it or not? I'm gonna save that. We're gonna get to that, Jones. Don't you worry, sir. Because I think it's a very important question. I think it's a very important question. And I also have a quick snippet on my YouTube channel already that's kind of geared towards that question. Why I name my Roc-A-Fella top 5, the Roc-A-Fella all-time top 5, because I don't like Memphis Bleak slander. But here we are, the truth, Beanie Sigel. And the first thing that you recognize about this album is it's no fluff. There are no interludes. There are no skits. You do not hear pain in the ass on this album. We're getting straight to it with the beats, and the bars off the rip. Things I didn't know in real time, even though I read credits. It wasn't until this other guy from Chicago started picking up steam, then I realized that, hey, Kanye West produced the truth. Because by this time it's the year 2000. I'm actually living just outside of Chicago. I'm in the West Burbs. I think, what am I in? I'm in Lombard, I think it is, or Carroll Stream, one of those two. But I'm actually getting friends from Chicago that they actually are in Cook County. They're from the city. I'm also going back home to Freeport, and I'm learning the lay of the land, if you will, because I've only been out there maybe 4 months at this time. I moved in the fall of 99. October 99 is when I moved to the Chicago area for school. And so much like me, Beans was supposed to be dropping this album. This was supposed to be the album I was going to get through winter break through, but it never happened, right? But this drops, we get right to the truth. So now let's get into the album. Y'all know me, I got notes because I don't want to leave anything out. I don't ever want to leave out the things that really matter to me. I forgot one thing now that I say that. Look at that, officially. So I don't remember the album. I don't remember the single. But I remember the first song I actually ended up hearing from this album, The Truth, way before the actual single, that is, which is The Truth, was What a Thug About. There was a snippet of it. And I can't remember if it was on a Roc-A-Fella album or a Def Jam album. Because you know how they did promo for they just turned the intro to Foxy Brown's album into just snippets of what was coming up on Def Jam. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But I remember What a Thug About being heard from the first time, and I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. I'll never forget too. I'm in the car. My cousin Courtney in the car with me, and Bean said, I'm gonna run up in your crib, put some of your ribs, the baby crying, pop, 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 put some in the crib. And he was just like, man, he's like, no, I don't like bars like that. He going crazy, but I don't know if I'm feeling bars like that. It was so funny. And then years later, he go into battle rap and say some stuff definitely on par with that. Definitely go par with hurting babies. With this battle rap, right? That's the culture of it, right? Oh man. Sorry, y'all, excuse me. So then I hear what the thug about, and I'm like, wow, that was a crazy snippet. Because I want to say they maybe got to the first verse and half the hook, you know? And then the Truth video, because I knew I was buying the album then. And very first listen from front to back, just track one, the track, what I think it's like 17, I think, in total. No, I'm sorry, track 14. 14 tracks, 56 minutes and 55 seconds. So in the first listen, all 14 tracks, my favorite joint on this song, this album is Stop Chill. Stop Chill to this day is my favorite song on this album. It's the ominous organ with that with the way that beat just collapses but keeps tempo. It feels like it almost feels like it's a live band playing it. Like, if there was one song I do want Beans, well, I did want Beans to perform live that I never heard, it was that one. But I would love to hear him do it with like a jazz band or like a symphony orchestra or something like that. I think it would be crazy. It's one of those beats that is real spooky, but it's super funky at the same time. Like Rock Wilder, smoke this. This is one of the joints that Rock Wilder doesn't get enough love for, because I don't think the Rock Wilder beat is that crazy. I think Red and Meth just smoked that, and that is why people love it. But Stop Chill, the beats and the rhymes live up. They're on par. It's like the perfect marriage to what they're doing here. So, excuse me. So out of all the Rock Wilder beats, this might be at the top of my list, besides the ones that I rap to from rockbeats.com. All right. So but the you know, what a thug about, the Truth. Listen to this album the first time. I, like many other people in my age range, or just the hip hop lovers, the rap fans out there, they're like, the immediate reaction of everybody around me was like, yo, Beans cold. Beans is cold, and I got to get this album. And that was before it dropped, and that was after it dropped. Because one of the things I loved being was the guy that got the music first. So, I'd be at Best Buy early. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't have class till like 1 o'clock too. I think the earliest class I took was like 11 o'clock. So I get up, watch a little bit of The Box, watch Jerry Springer, go to Best Buy. That's how I spent a lot of my mornings from 99 to 2002. That's what I did. Right. And I was comping 2-3 CDs at a time, because they were at a new low price. They started dropping them down to $10 instead of the 16 to 18. So you get them for $10. Oh, I'm buying 3 CDs. Easy, no problem. And I come through, I pull up to the school, like, yo, y'all hear that Beans? Yo, no, it's heat. It's heat. He got some heat on there. Like, it's fire. It's cold. You know what I mean? And now I want to take a moment to like really deep dive into the album, right? Because again, like I said, 14 tracks, 56 minutes, 55 seconds. I think this album starts off great. Okay. The Truth, and then into Who Want What with Memphis Bleak. Again, I do not like Bleak slander. Listening to this 25 years later, Bleak smoked this. Bleak smoked this. I totally understand people liking Beanie Sigel more, but dare I say, out of all the tandems that were from the late 90s to the 2000s, collaborative tandems, you can't name for sure 5 that were better than Beans and Bleak. You can't name 5. I'll give y'all Styles and Chic. Give y'all Red and Meth. I don't think the Dog Pound's a better tandem. I don't, because Bleak raps better than Daz to me. And I mean, not for nothing, Philly versus Philly. I got Beans over Corrupt. I know they ain't, depending on where you are, they ain't really popular to say, whatever, but I got them over, dude. I'm trying to think of just other tandems. We never really got a chance to hear Cam and Mace. I probably would have put them above them. Shoot, they were pairing Ja Rule and Bleak, but I still like Beans and Bleak, the combination, more. Hey, Jones, let's talk about it. We should have got that Beans and Bleak album. I would have wanted that over the Dynasty album. I would have bought that I'd have bought that faster than the Dynasty album. I bought the Dynasty album real late. I want to say Jay got the blackout by the time I bought the Dynasty album because I was tired of hearing it when I was out. It's just in the club. I was just hearing it all the time. So I got to the Dynasty album real late, but the Beans and Bleak album should have definitely happened. That would have been one of the better Roc-A-Fella albums, period. I don't have the Young Guns over Beans and Bleak. I don't have Beans and Free over Beans and Bleak. I just don't. It's I don't have Drag On and DMX. Like, pick a tandem. I don't have 5 over those two guys. 99 to 02 for sure. No, not at all. So to me, this album starts off perfectly with the truth and To Who Want What, because Beans and Bleak, and I know, like, a lot of the conversation was, oh, Beans about to take Bleak's spot. No, he's not. He's not. Now, granted, it's a gift and or a curse, because the start of Volume 2, Pain in the Ass, is saying that Memphis Bleak is the new and improved Jay-Z. I just think that's just a bad thing to say to someone who's trying to build their own lane with a guy who at the time had maybe moved 1 million records total. We all know Jay is nice, but he's not the superstar yet. We don't know he's going to be a superstar until we physically get Hard Knock Life in our hands. So it's unfair to put that much pressure on the young guy who's just, that's the young homie. That's just, I'm rolling with Jay. I'll shoot somebody for Jay. But I rap a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? I rap. So, it's difficult, but hey. But let me know. Let me know what you think about that. Beans and Bleak. I got them in the top 5. Of just tandems of people that we've put together. And we'll only go 90s to early 2000s. I'll give you Ray and Ghost. Kiss and Styles, Ray and Ghost. I forgot who else I put above them that quick. But yeah, I'll give you Kiss and Styles. I'll give you Ray and Ghost for sure. Oh, and Red and Meth. I'll give you those 3. Give you those 3. Show me that 4th one. I do not know. Off the rip, I don't know. But I'm open to hear suggestions. But then we get to track like 3. Okay. And now here's where we're critical. Because Raw and Uncut, Jay's on it. You know what I'm saying? We about 10 minutes into the album, and now Jay's on the album. Not mad at that. Raw and Uncut, though, look, it's a good track. It's dope. But this is Face Off 2000. Like, if y'all know In My Lifetime Volume 1, this is Face Off without Sauce Money on it. So I don't know. So I don't really love this song. And I think very highly of Sauce Money. Do something different is how I feel. Even to this day, listening back, I was like, damn, yeah, that's a blatant, like, just replacement. So if you didn't know, now you know that Beans replaced Sauce Money, which sucks because I would have loved to hear Sauce Money and Beans on more tracks too. We got robbed of that as well. Don't know why, but we got robbed of not hearing more Sauce Money and Beans, or Sauce Beans and Jay, Sauce Beans Jay and Bleak. We just We got it. We got robbed. I'm upset about that. High key. High key. Then Mac Man. Okay. Now we're so after that, after we get to Raw and Uncut, because this is I'm sorry, after we get to Who Want What, we get into the J reference track portion of this album. The J reference track portion, which starts with Raw and Uncut, goes to Mac Man, which I love what Beans did creatively, but this ain't it. This ain't it. This is a J reference track. And him running off of this is like a song that got left off volume 3. This feels very, I wrote this at the same time I was working on Jigga My Nigga. I made this at the same time I was working on Girl's Best Friend. Like Jay's standard, like, once Can I Get a Work, he kind of rode that wave, but it never really hit to that level every time. Jones, I wish I could know what you were responding to here, right? Because I want to talk about it. But here's the J. But so I'll give you a second. But yes, back to the fillers, back to the Jay-Z reference tracks. Player with a meal. And I think Jay is on this one too. No. Again, hey, listen, no. When I hear Reservoir Dogs, when I hear Do It Again, when I hear 1,000 Bars, when I watch Backstage, I don't want to hear Player from Beans. Sorry. He's anything but a player. I want to hear more violence. And I'm sorry, let me just keep it real. Beanie Sigel never struck me as being the player. I get what they were trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, hey, look, this is the era. As we get into the late 90s and the 2000s, you need something for the streets, you need something for the clubs, you need something for the niggas, you need something for the bitches. And I get it. But nah. Oh, Mac Man said, oh, hey, bro. Come on, dog. Hey, listen, creatively, it's dope. It's dope. But get the fuck out of here, cuz. Sorry. No, that is easily skippable after the second listen to this album. What up? We got the homegirl Sasha checking in for the joint. Jones, y'all here. Shout out to everybody that just came in. Oh man, last Jay-Z reference track. Yeah, hey, Jones, after this, listen to Mac Man. And tell me you with the way you slander certain people, you tell me that you messed with that song in 2025. You tell me that. Even the beat. Tell me you even like the beat at this point. So man. Oh yes. Everybody want to be a star. Or everybody want to be a star. He literally doing Jay voice on the hook. If that's not Jay. It's almost like they dubbed his voice. That's a joint. Everybody want to be a star. That could have been on volume 1, to be honest with you. Shoot, maybe with the right budget, if they think that Beans is gonna go pretty far, they might put Angela Winbush on the hook of this. Angela Winbush is usually the woman. Angela Winbush is usually the woman on these type of songs. Again, the rapping isn't bad on this little 4-pack here, because there's a 4-pack of just there's a 4-pack of skip. There's a 4-pack of skip on this album, and it starts at Raw and Uncut down to Everybody Want to Be a Star. So that's tracks 3 to 6. You can listen to these. You could not. They're very skippable, and that's just what it is. But then we pick back up, because especially by the time they do the video, Eve is fish grease. So Remember Them Days is a banger. So now look, you don't need to know who Eve is to know that this song is dope. In my personal hierarchy, I got Eve in the top 5 of women all time, excluding really nobody. And she didn't make music for me. But that's why. The first woman to solely rap but not be marketed to me. But I was feeling what she was doing. I felt what she was saying. You know, it's it was a superpower. It was a superpower because she could really rap. She could really, really rap. So salute to Eve, respect to Eve. You're one of the greatest ever. Love. But remember them days. Remember them days is still an incredible song to this day. I remember hearing this and just thinking like, dang, I really want Beans to win. I'm like, dang, I don't want him to, be in poverty. I don't want to be broke no more. He made me believe. The thing is, though, man, what's so wild? If you listen to verse 3, of Remember Them Days, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because Beans didn't stick to his word. He didn't stick to his word in the third verse, you know. And to give you the cliff notes, and I'll let y'all listen to draw your own conclusions. But he thanked his homies for introducing them to Dame and Jay, and how he would, basically stop all the BS, stop the street stuff, and he was so grateful. But as time would go on, I mean, you couldn't keep Beans on the streets. He dissed Jay. He was trying to go at Jay at one point in his career, and it's just like, man. And I'm glad, and I think it's the same brothers that he mentions in this song, Remember Them Days, that were like, bro, don't you ever do that. Like, duh, he gave you a chance to better your life. You messing it up. Like that. Those are the words from Beans. So when I listen to Remember Them Days, it's bittersweet for real because damn, that was a song that was meant to be the transition from the street to the fame. Look, if all the J reference tracks don't get you over Remember Them Days, which ends up being one of the biggest songs on this album. Man, I'm sorry, excuse me. That is the biggest song on this album. I don't think one song performed better than Remember Them Days with Eve. So that's great. So where are we going? Oh, okay. So listen. So now, again, we had Stop Chill. You already know how I feel about that. One of my favorite joints. My favorite joint, matter of fact. One of my favorite Bean songs, period, but my favorite Bean song on this album for sure. Roc-A-Fella Smoked It. We get the Mac and Brad. Scarface and Beanie Sigel. Many people say this is their favorite song on the album, and I do not argue because it's heat. It is. They are going crazy. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing where it ain't the mind playing tricks on me. It ain't but Beans and Face just rapping. They're gonna go on to do way better songs than this. But man, this is a hell of an intro to that tandem. Maybe had they did more together, I put them in that 5, Mac and Brad. It could have been a thing. Could have been a thing. I already told y'all about What a Thug About. Okay, what's your life like? Okay. You know what I'm saying? yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Jones. Let's receive this MF arm off. Off. Like your joint gone. They was going crazy on that. What's your life like? Easily. The scariest song I ever heard in my life in the year 2000. I was 18, 19? I was 18. Hadn't quite turned. Wait, no, I was 19. Yeah, I don't know how old I am. I was a teenager though. Tell you what. When my man said, you gotta wash out your drawers, same water you piss, shit, gargle, and spit, same. Basically, listen, I don't remember it, but I remember every time I hear the song, thinking that I got one water source that I'm supposed to live off of in every capacity. As in, I got to drink from this, I got to cook with this, I got to wash, I got to use as a restroom. Oh, never going to prison. Never. Officially, never going to prison after I hear what your life like. It's a wrap for me. I don't want to be necessarily a tough guy anyway. I'm not in a gang. I never joined one. You know, I was very much a loner. But yo, after hearing what your life like, I knew, oh no, not going to prison. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm not going to prison. And it's got one of my favorite rhymes, even though, and I repurpose it. I don't be talking about prison, but I love telling people. I went on a really great run of telling people, you talking about your life is this, your life is that, your life ain't shit, your life is whack. I love telling people that. It's one of my favorite, it's one of my favorite things to tell people. Your life ain't this, your life is whack. That's one of the hardest things I think you can tell somebody. So love that just as just a lyric to live by and then to grow with, right? Ride for mine and die. Again, hard. There's nothing really to say about these songs. They're just hard. It's beans as advertised. If you bought the album because you heard Reservoir Dogs, if you bought the album because you saw the Hard Knock Life DVD, if you bought the album because you heard him on Do It Again, then Ride for Mine and Die, along with What's Your Life Like, that's just what you are supposed to get. Like this is Beanie Sigel. This is as advertised. This is what it's supposed to be. Like I just expected just something just vicious to close the album out. This album closed out so vicious. There's so much real stuff being said from Mac and Brad to Die that Jay-Z had to add a single with an anti-single on it. Because anything kind of like levels this out. It's like, yo, let's give him something positive. Let's give him something a little more inspirational. You took one song off. Like a lot of the people get hurt throughout the rest of this album. So anything is on this album. I think that's a very dope Jay record. I would want to hear when he made that. Why I want to hear that, because how the first verse goes, and then we now find out that Jay and Dame are basically at odds with each other over Aaliyah. Some of those bars, man, some of those bars. I'll be listening to these raps, man. It'd be serious. It'd be serious. So that is the album, right? The Truth, Beanie Sigel, 14 tracks, 56 minutes, 55 seconds. But here's the question. I know even my guy John, my man Jones is waiting for. Is Beanie Sigel's The Truth a classic? Let me give y'all some suspense. I'm gonna sip some water because I have an answer. Is Beanie Sigel's The Truth a classic album? Short answer. Yes. It absolutely is a classic. Absolutely is a classic. And if you know me, and you've been familiar with my music conversations for the last 10 or more years, yeah, I've been doing this a while. I base everything on cultural impact first. 50% of your classic capabilities has to deal with cultural impact, because there has to be a tipping of the scale to say this is music before you do what you did, and there's music after it. Again, This album is one of those albums, one of the most important and impactful albums of the 2000s and the turn of the century, to be specific. Yes, I'm telling y'all that, even though it's 4 skips on here to me. Raw and Uncut, Mac Man, Play It, Everybody Want to Be a Star. You can skip all of those. This is still a classic. You know what that tells me? That if this album was 10 tracks, it'd be flawless. That's what that tells me. He did too many songs. That's all that means to me. Why is this a classic? Well, the first thing, and I spoke to this earlier, remember, Beans got this opportunity off of a freestyle. So, the truth, what'd he say? I didn't even chase this dream. I feel sorry for those who did. This album is the literal start of rappers not being rappers. All of a sudden, it was just like, I mean, I'm not really a rapper, I'm just a gangster that know how to rap. I'm a drug dealer that know how to rap. Because who else wrote this wave? Jeezy. Who wrote it before him? The Game. A lot of people were riding that wave of, oh, I'm not a rapper. I'm a hustler that happens to know how to rap. And that was the culture of that. It caused a great shift. Now, at the same time, now listen, although we did get some good music, dare I say we get a handful of classics off of that. But at the same time, started building a culture of a lot of people not really giving a fuck about hip hop. It's still a culture shift, though. It's still a culture shift. No matter why you get in the game and what you do in it, how you navigate is literally the difference in how much noise you make or not. Beans was the first guy. He was the first guy over the wall that was just like, yo, nah, I ain't no rapper. I just kind of picked this up. You know what I mean? But I'm super nice. Oh, you've been trying for 3 years to get a deal. Oh, sorry for you, nigga. Like, that was the vibe. That was the energy. So off that alone, that's one cultural impact, right? One. Here's number 2. We don't know it at the time. We are not aware of this in real time because this is 99 into 2000. Kanye West and Just Blaze and Bink are officially introducing us to the Roc-A-Fella sound. Why is it important? Because from Reasonable Doubt to Volume 2, you had Jay using a lot of different sounds. Like, you can say that the vibe, the energy, a lot of the beat selections of Reasonable Doubt are very much inspired by Ready to Die and Illmatic. Then you can say Volume 1 takes a lot of pieces of the Bad Boy sound. There's still some Jay joints on there. Don't get me wrong, on every album, but he's taking those sounds. Volume 2, he took the Rough Rider Murder Inc. sound, that Irv Gotti, that Dame Grease, that sound, and then he has Timberland in there now. So and you know where Timberland sound comes from. It's Misty, Blackground, and Aaliyah, Genuine, all of that. He has that. So he's pulling a lot of sounds. And Volume 3, more Timberland. Oh, Timberland worked? Oh, this sound works for me? Bet we're gonna use more Timberland in it. And I think he started working with Dr. Dre then as well. Yeah, because Still comes out. Still DRE comes out during that time, 99. So Jay's pulling from everybody already hot and doing their thing. But Beans, Kanye West, and Just Blaze all debut on one album. Bink, because I think his relationship is it with the Fugees? I think it went left. But needless to say, and and obviously that doesn't work out long term, but this is the new Roc-A-Fella sound though. By the time we get to the Truth album, because even Memphis Bleak has Swizz Beats records on Coming of Age, the album. So they're literally taking everybody's sound and coming up with albums. The Truth is when they start developing what we now know is the Roc-A-Fella sound. And it literally does not start here, because then what's after that? What's after that? The Dynasty album, which is damn near all Kanye West and Just Blaze. And man, I think Young Guru's in the fold by then. I think so. So there's that. Okay. Cultural impact number 3. And off top, this is no disrespect to DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It's no disrespect to Cassidy. It's no disrespect to Steady B, Schoolie D. This is no disrespect to the major figures, specifically Gilly, Dutch, and Spade. It's no disrespect to y'all. But this album, along with The Rise of Eve and Black Thought, make Philly a hotbed. It makes Philly a hotbed of talent. Now people want to know who else is in Philly. Again, I'm a teenager, right? Didn't really know Black Thought was from Philly. Didn't know that. There was like, once we got to the Things Fall Apart album, I then learned, I was like, oh wow, Scott Storch was in the Roots. Didn't know that. And then, Eve is on You Got Me, but Beans is on that album because they're all from Philly. Turned out they all like grew up in the same neighborhoods. They went to the same high schools, like everything. But it wasn't until Beans dropped The Truth that Philly became a hotbed for like who's next. Yeah, my man Jones is wild. You ain't gotta apologize. I gotta apologize to Gilly and the Major Figures. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, hey look, hey, you let Gilly tell it, man. He was really the hottest one. You know what I'm saying? Them and the Major Figures. No, nobody did like them in Philly. That's his words, not mine. I wasn't there. I'm from Freeport, Illinois. I moved near Chicago. So I can't, you know what I'm saying? But just in case if he see this, sometimes I go viral for the wrong reasons. I just want to make it clear, like, there was no disrespect, bro, but it wasn't until this Beans album that I started recognizing people were from Philly. But yeah, and you know what? And I should have known that about the Roots, right? Specifically Black Thought. The second album is Illadelph, Half-Life. I just thought that was some stuff they was making up, bro. You know what I mean? That's me being 15, 16, not really caring. I just like the sounds. When you just like the sounds, you hear the lyrics. It's like, oh, I bet I'll cop it. But yeah, the Eve, Black Thought, and Beans don't get enough credit for starting a whole wave of just one, Philly rappers, strippers turned rappers with live bands, and just a different type of street dude. They just, because it wasn't quite gangster rap like it is like in the West Coast, but it wasn't New York gangsters and thugs either. Like Beans is just super different. But and he has a different lingo, a different dialect, a different pronunciation of words. Like it's just a lot. But that is how we get Freeway. That is how we get PD Crack and the Young Guns, Owen Sparks, if you really want to count them, and just that whole Philly wave. State property doesn't become a thing. It can't become a thing if Beans is not successful with this album. So, yeah, no way this album isn't a classic. And this is what I'll be trying to tell a lot of people as I scroll back up here to get Jones' question. This is what I try to tell a lot of people. Your album having no skips, that don't mean anything. You can have a lot of dynamite music that just don't move the needle. We hear it all the time. We see it all the time. There's a lot of great albums that are going to come out, this year. And they're going to come and go. They're gonna sound great. It's gonna have great singing or great rapping or great whatever on it. And because it don't impact the people, it don't impact the city, it don't change culture, it won't matter much. So that will make it not a classic. You got to move the needle. You got to change some things. You got to change like the course of history was changed with this album. Dame, Biggs, and Jay unleashed the three people that would help them dominate the beginning of the 2000s with one album. You think about it: Kanye West production, Just Blaze, Beanie Sigel. You can't get through the 2000s without the three of them. You can't. So that's why just them being a part of this album alone is enough. You know, Blueprint sounds different if this doesn't happen. Blueprint sounds different. Blueprint is hey, let the world tell it, instant classic. So, there's that. So yeah, you know what? Even if it got a 4 out of 5, because I think that was the original ranking in the source, and the source was all that mattered at the time. 4 out of 5, I think, is still valid, still solid, because yeah, it's some skips on here. So it's not a perfect album, but as you look back and you think of impact, definitely a classic. No brainer. So now let's get to my man Jones' question. He said, was there any point in time where Beans was the best rapper on Roc-A-Fella? Short answer, sir, is no. No. Jay-Z has always been the best rapper on Roc-A-Fella. Now, if you want to say if Jay's the executive, okay, then fine. Oh, yeah, hey. Oh, this guy. We talking Beans while I'm in therapy. Oh, yeah. Hey, hey, look, 25 years of the truth. I know how you feel about this album. I know you've been playing it since Valentine's Day. So, we had to rehash the classics. I didn't have a really dope album to review this week. I got an EP. I'm gonna try to put y'all on another artist. Man, hey, YouTube, show me some love. That y'all ain't feeling the Bryn Joy album review. Like, nobody's viewed that joint. Go view the Bryn Joy album review, man. He dope. And he from Nashville. That's what your man's, you know what I'm saying? But yes, hey, but to catch JR Bang up real quick. Hey, spoiler alert. I think Beanie Siegel's The Truth is a classic album. And I explain why. But I'm not gonna give it away for the second of time. That's what she said. But Ransom and Davies, I'll check it out. I'm really trying to switch the vibe up. Hey Jones, hey, to be honest with you, man, I'm trying to a lot of rap has been disappointing me. There was an album that I didn't think was a rap album, and then I started listening to it. I got 3 tracks in, turned that shit off. But we ain't gonna slander dude, at least not here. I'll hit y'all in the chat. We'll talk about it. But yeah, but yes, but no. Hey, listen. But no. Back to your question. Beans was not the best rapper on Roc-A-Fella. I am not one of those people that's prisoner of the moment. Jay-Z has always been the best rapper on Roc-A-Fella. You can't make me change my mind on that. I'll rehash this for y'all because I don't think you saw the video. But for me, the top 5 Roc-A-Fella all-time rappers, I personally, Jay, Sauce, Beans, Kanye, Bleak. That's the 5. That's the 5 for me. Yeah, shoot, that's it. That's what I got. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody else qualifies. I was trying to think, but nah. You know what I'm saying? Sauce Money is my number 2 Roc-A-Fella roster all time. And look, and if y'all want to say 2 and 2A, I don't mind it being a dead heat between Beans and Sauce, but I mean, hey, look, I don't mind if y'all put Beans at 2 because, hey, because technically, off the fact that we never really got nothing outside of Middle Finger You, Beans won the race of putting out more albums. Because I don't even think I'm not so sure that Sauce Money's Middle Finger You album dropped on Roc-A-Fella. Now that I think about it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, hey, Jones beat me to it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he put his joint on there because his first single was fire. Matter of fact, I need to see if that's on DSPs. I gotta buy that. I gotta buy that Sauce Money album. I could not find that album in real time, but dude is super nice. And for all of y'all, I know that we ain't messing with the diddler, but he wrote "I'll Be Missing You." He wrote one of the biggest rap records of all time. It's hard to say Sauce Money, not him. It's hard. It's hard to say it. You know what I mean? Oh man, 1 second, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in too, man. Thank you very much. What were your first thoughts on Beanie Sigel, The Truth? I'll wrap it up because I want to stay informed. So we're gonna mess with dude ass. You know what I'm saying? It's 8:01. We'll mess with dude, but what was y'all thinking? You know what I'm saying? My cuz, my bad, just checked in. Hey, cuz, I shared a story with you. I shared a story with you earlier in the show. I don't know if you remember this, but remember we was in my car, we riding around, and the snippet of that Beanie Sigel, "What a Thug About," came on, and he was like, "I run up in your crib, put some in your ribs, your baby crying, pop, 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 put some in the crib." He was like, "Damn," he was like, "Yo, I don't be liking the raps when people be talking about killing kids and stuff." Hey, God, cuz, hey, to this day, I never forget that. But man, I appreciate you tuning in, man. Thank you very much. But yeah, we talking Beanie Siegel's The Truth. 25 years later, I'm gonna cover. I'm gonna cover a couple more albums this year that turned 25, maybe a couple 20 years, because there was some dope albums between 2000 and 2005. It's a lot of heat that we need to discuss, and again, you know what I'm saying? I do believe wholeheartedly that Beanie Sigel, The Truth is a classic album. It passes the cultural impact test for me, for the people just new to just coming in. I gave more detail earlier, but to reiterate it before I get to more of the comments here, the very first one is that this album started the culture of rappers not wanting to be rappers. I'm a gangster that know how to rap. I'm a drug dealer just happen to know how to rap. It's just a hobby that I picked up in the lobby. Shout to Raekwon. You know what I mean? This album is the debut of not only Beans but also Kanye West and Just Blaze and Bink. This is the start of the Roc-A-Fella sound. I got that on there as reason. And even though Eve, Black Thought already exists and they're on fire, Beanie Sigel is the tipping point for Philly being a hotbed for talent. So those are the 3 reasons alone why this album is classic to me, and that's why it's just irreplaceable. It's some skips on here, so I'm not saying there's no skips. I gave y'all a rundown of the Jay-Z filler tracks or the Jay-Z reference tracks that he used for this album. But if this album is only 10 tracks, it's flawless, right? Let's talk to my man Clyde. Let's see what he's talking about. He says, I thought he was nice talking about Beans. I remember riding the bus to work, listening to it on my headphones. To me, he became the East Coast Ice Cube. I like that. I like that. East Coast Ice Cube. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah, man, Beans was definitely he was a special person at a very special time. Hey, and not for nothing, man. I think the change of just DMX, Rough Riders, I think the Locks, because this is kind of what fueled the battle, right? if the Rough Riders sound isn't what it is then maybe Bean stands out any more, but maybe he stands out more, but also it's the reception of that is a little wild, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, he talking about shooting kids in baby cribs off the brim, you know what I mean? Like he going crazy. So, you know, man, oh man. So yeah, that's it for me. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna have to do this again on the anniversary tip, but you already know the vibes. Listen, every Tuesday, usually at 8:15 p.m., but we moved it up early because I do want to stay informed, State of the Union, the president tripping. I need to know what's going on so I know how to pivot, navigate. I'm already trying to buy a beach house in the Caribbean, so you already know the vibes, you dig? But man, that don't stop the music content, that don't stop what we're doing here. Camp from the Port is the YouTube channel. Subscribe or you a hater, you dig? But thank you all for tuning in. And we're almost at 250 subscribers. So that does mean when I get to there, y'all get to pick the review. You get to pick the review. I'm one subscriber away from 250. I got an exclusive pair of shoes that y'all not supposed to see right now on top of my chart. So I'm gonna hide those because they haven't released yet. Yeah. Getting a little plugged up here in Music City. I'm just saying. But once we hit 250, you pick the review. I had the register to win link up, and y'all can hit that up. I'm going to pick somebody randomly, or I mean, hey, look, I ain't going to cap to you. If it ain't a lot of people in there, not so randomly, I'm going to pick one of y'all, and we about to do this thing, all right? But until then, man, hey, listen, be safe out there, whatever, no matter what you do, whatever you do, wherever you do it, please be safe. Pay attention to the State of the Union. Sincerely, whether you voted for dude or not, I didn't, but we still got to know what's going on out here, man, because dude wildin', you dig? Outside of that, man, always, you know it, always, and consensually, it's love.